Right. What did we go over on Friday? Sean. Rational numbers. You can give me an example of a rational number. Jay. 426. Is that good? Yep. Drew. 1/2. 1/2. Does that work? Yep. What's another one? Sean. 1/1,000,000. Awesome. Give me an example that does not work as a rational number. Easton. Good. 2/0. Remember a rational number, A over B. A and B have to both be integers, but B cannot be 0. Are integers rational numbers? Are integers rational numbers? Ben?
No.
Why not?
Rational numbers are integers. Rational numbers are integers.
Let me do that backwards. Easton?
Yes.
Good. Yes. Well, yes, integers are rational numbers. Okay. Every single integer is a rational number because you can put any whole number as a fraction, right? Think of 15. Is that an integer? Yes. How do you write 15 as a fraction? Beckham. 15/1. Are they both integers? B is not 0. Okay, so all integers are rational numbers. Is 0 an integer? True.
Yes.
Yes, 0 is an integer. All right. Last question, then we'll get started. 2/3. 2/3. Is that positive or negative? Braden. Negative? Noah. Okay, why is it positive? Ian? Is to the right of 0 on the number line. Okay, fractions, proper fractions are positive numbers. They're to the right of 0. Okay, they're just less than 1. All right. Okay, I have here. We're going to look at part number 1 here where it says point A, point B, and point C. This is there we go. Okay, what I want you to do on your guided notes, we have point A, B, and C. This one is A right here. Okay, that's point A. I want you to give me the decimal form. I want you to give me the fraction, and then write the opposite. Would you like to do one of them together first?
Yes.
Give me a shake of your head, yes or no. Okay. I see majority yeses. So let's go over A. A is this blue dot here. What is point A as a decimal? Ben.
Negative. I don't know.
Okay, we're at negative. I agree with that. Negative. Noah?
Negative 3.5.
Negative 3.5. What do we think? David? Do you agree? Good. I agree as well. We have negative 3. Okay, this is in between. It's broken into fourths. This is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, a whole. In between there, a half is 0.5. So then what is the fraction form of this? Drew?
Negative 3 and 1/2.
Good. Negative 3 and 1/2. What is the opposite of this? Jaden?
3 and 1/2.
Good. 3, 5, or 3. Okay. Do we see what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and solve for B and C. Over B. B, is B positive or negative? Drew?
Negative.
It's going to be negative. It is to the left of 0, so we know the number is going to be negative. If I were you, I would start in fraction form when you're given a number line. It's a lot easier to go to the fraction form. Ask yourself, what is it broken up in between 0 and 1 or 0 and negative 1? What are the units broken up into? Nathan? Fourths. So this right here would be negative 1/4. This would be negative 1/2. This is negative 3/4. Then you have negative 1. I saw some people go to 9/10. Why is that not 9/10? Sean?
Because 1/4 is like, you can't make fourths into tenths.
Good. You have to look at the units there broken up in between the whole numbers. Okay? It's not 9/10 because it's not broken up into tenths. Okay. All right, so we have as a fraction negative 3/4. Who knows how to change a fraction into a decimal? Jay?
If it's negative 3/4, then you could put it into a decimal as negative 0.75.
Okay, I do agree with that. You can put at negative 0.75. But how do you know? You just know that fraction, don't you? You just know that 3/4 is 7/500, right? Okay, the way I think of that is, think about money. Think about quarters. 4 quarters gives you how much money? $1. So 100. If you have 3 quarters, how much money do you have? If you have 2 quarters, how much money do you have? 50. So 0.50. What about 1 quarter? 25. That's the way I think of force. Now, if we're not given such one as easy as force, what do you do? How do you change a fraction into a decimal? Sean?
So you look at how many units there are in the fraction, and since there's 2, you're going to go over 2, so you know that's like hundredths. So you make that divide by
There's an easier way. I'm not sure I understand that way. But a fraction is just what type of problem? It's a division problem. We can divide 3 divided by 4. Does 4 go into 3? No, so what do? Add a decimal point 0. 4 goes into 30 how many times? 7 times. That's 28. 2. Bring down another 0. 4 goes into 20? 5 times. Bring your decimal point straight up. A fraction is just a division problem. So, super important. When you compare numbers, you cannot compare a fraction to a decimal, which we're about to do here soon. You have to make sure that they're in the same units, whether they're in fractions, same denominator, or they're in decimal form. Okay, what do we think about C then? What do we think of C? Nathan, back.
decimal, I got 1.25.
Okay. What about the fraction form? fraction. Beckham. 1 1/4. What is the opposite of 1 1/4? Sean? Okay, 1/4. How do you change 1/4 into a decimal? Drew?
Make it into a proper fraction.
Well, you can just change the 1/4. When you have a mixed number, the whole number will stay the whole number, and you can just change the fraction. Okay?
Since you only have 1/4, it'd be 25.
Good. It'd be 0.25. You have 1/4 for 25 cents. Or we can divide 1 divided by 4. Does 4 go into 1? No. Add a decimal point 0. 4 goes into 10. 2 times. We get 8. Left the 2. Bring 0 down. 4 goes into 20. 5 times. Decimal point comes up. Right. You need to know how to do this. Changing these fractions in decimal. If it's like a fourth, I'm okay if you just know it off the top of your head. But when we get to ones that are a lot larger, which we're about to, you need to know how to change it into a decimal form to compare. All right. We good with that? We're going to go ahead and next. Start. Okay. Need to fix these. All right. With a partner, go ahead and this is supposed to be 2/3. This is supposed to be 1 1/4. And this one is just 10 seconds. I want you to write it as a rational number. So what number does it represent? And then compare what does 0 mean in that situation. Okay, so please stand up, move around. Everyone should move. Make sure you include everyone. If there's more than 2 people in a group, that's fine. Just make sure everyone is talking. All right, a pant leg shrunk 2/3 of an inch after washing. What is the rational number represented in this situation? Jay?
-2/3.
Awesome. -2/3. Why did it become negative? Nathan?
Because the pant legs lost 2/3.
Good. It shrunk. So that's our keyword, making it negative. Now, what would 0 represent in this situation? Becca? Yeah, the regular pant size, how big they were before you washed them. That's what 0 would represent. Okay. Dad gained 1 1/4 pounds during vacation. Drew. Okay. It could be that is the same number. You could have 1 25/100 or 1 1/4. It's the same thing. It's just a positive number. Because you gained, you're going to increase. Okay, what would 0 represent in this situation? Nathan?
The weight he was before vacation.
Exactly, the weight before vacation would represent 0. It was 10 seconds before blast off. Jay?
-10.
Good, -10. What would 0 represent? 0 would represent, Ian? Becca? Yeah, it's when the space shuttle blasted off or whatever took blast off. Okay. All right. Questions? Part 3, you can just talk about it. The highest point is, I'm not sure how to pronounce that mountain, but it's at 22,834 feet above sea level. So what type of rational number would that represent? If it's above sea level, it would be, Drew?
Positive.
It would be a positive number. Then the peninsula is 131 feet below sea level. What would that represent, Nathan?
A negative number?
It's going to represent a negative rational number. Remember, both of those are integers, but integers are rational numbers. Yes.
Can an integer not be rational number?
Can an integer not be a rational number? Sean?
No, a rational number can't be an integer can be a rational
Good. All integers are rational numbers.
number.
All rational numbers are not integers. Okay, go back and forth. Questions? All right, turn your paper over to numbers. What can we always tell on a number line? The farther what? The farther right you are. Easton? Good. The farther right you are, the larger the number. Same thing with integers and rational numbers. The farther left you are, John? Farther left you are would be the smaller number. Okay? So we're going to look at comparing 1/3 and 1/2. Which one do you think is bigger? Beckham. 1/2. So look here.
1/3 is to the left of 1/2 on the number line.
So,
So,
1/3
is less than 1/2.
Okay. 1/2 is farther right.
Similarly, 1/2 is to the right of 1/3 on the number line.
So,
So, 1/2 is greater than 1/3.
Right. Again, 1/2 is farther right. Now, what do we think about negative 1/2 and negative 1/3? Which one is larger? Put your answer in your paper somewhere on the top right. We have negative 1/2 and negative 1/3. Which number is greater? Ben, what do you think? Negative 1/3 is bigger? All right, let's compare.
negative 1/3
Negative 1/3 is to the right of negative 1/2 on the number line.
So, negative 1/3
So, negative 1/3 is greater than negative 1/2.
Negative 1/2
Negative 1/2 is to the left of negative 1/3 on the number line.
So,
negative 1/2 is less than negative 1/3.
That's exactly right. So Drew said that what he did when comparing is he make them into a decimal. And that's what we're about to do here. We're about to compare decimals to fractions. They are both rational numbers, but we need to compare them. I would rather change my fractions into decimals because it's just a division problem than getting a common denominator. All right. So let's go ahead and go into that example spot there. Whatever, when doing this, if you want to put the numbers on the number line and see which one's farther right, you can, unless you can just compare in your head. I don't really care which one you do. Okay, let's look at A. We'll do A together, and then I'll let you do the rest with the partners here. So we have 1 1/10 and 1 1/6. Can we compare these numbers the way they are right now? Ian, what'd you say? No, exactly. We cannot compare them. We have a decimal form here, and we have a fraction form here. Anyone have any idea what we could do so that we could compare them? There's two different ways to do this. Sean.
You can make 1/10 fraction, or you can do 6 divided by 1 and make that the decimal.
We're so close. Okay? He was correct by saying change this into a mixed number. How do you write this as a mixed number? This whole number is 1. The fraction is, would be this part right here after decimal point. This is read as 1/10. So 1/10. Can we compare 1 and 1/10 and 1 and 1/6 now? Can we compare them?
No.
No. Kind of, but you really shouldn't. They do need a common denominator. To get a common denominator, I can multiply this by 10 over 10 to get 10/60ths. Multiply this by 6 over 6 to get 6/60ths. Which one's larger? Decent? 1 and 1/6. Okay, why I said you can kind of compare them? If you're looking here, you have one whole pie, you get 1/10 of a pie, and you get 1/6 of a pie. Which pie do you want if you're really hungry for pie? Take it. I want 1/6 of that other pie. A larger piece. John.
You can also make it multiplied by 5. You can multiply 1/10
Yeah.
times 3 and 1/6 times 5.
Absolutely. You should have done that. Right? The other way of doing this is changing your fraction into a decimal. And I think that this is the better option. I have 1 and 1/10. I know that. Now I have 1 and 1/6. I can leave my whole number alone and change my fraction 1/6 into a decimal. Do we know how I do that? We've gone over this a couple of times today, so those of you who have your heads down, put your heads up, make sure you're paying attention. It's really important. Back up. Good. 1 divided by 6. Mess it up. 1 divided by 6. Changing that. 6 goes into 1, does not. So add a decimal point. 6 goes into 10. 1 9. 6, we get 4, bring another 0 down. 6 goes into 40. Done. Can I stop here? I can stop here because this goes into the 10 spot. This is now in the hundreds. I can compare them now. So we have 1 and 1/10, or 1 and 1600. This is larger. Questions? If you have a comment, please raise your hand. Like you should be talking about. True. If you are given a fraction and a decimal, you have to change them to either both be fractions or both be decimals. I highly encourage you to change them to the decimals. It's a lot easier to compare. All right, go ahead and solve B by giving me proof. Some of you might know this off the top of your head, but you have to give me proof of which one is larger. Find a partner and do that one. Real quickly. Someone you haven't worked with yet today. We have -1 and 1/3 and -1 and 6/10. We're both negative, so that's, we can't just correct the answer. If you have a negative and a positive, the positive is always going to be larger. So do we want to change these into fractions, or should I change them into decimal form? Ian, decimal form. I completely agree. There's only one step you have to do, then you can compare. This is already in decimal form, so you can keep this the way it is. -1 and 1/3. As decimal form, we know it's going to be -1 and then point something. Okay. Some of you might know what 1/3 is as a decimal on top of your head. Does anyone know? Easton? Good. 1/3 equals 0.33, repeating forever and ever. But it asks to show me proof. So how do you show proof that it is 0.33 repeating? John?
Or I did, you can go 30, or you can do 100 times away.
We talked about this multiple times. Now, how do you change a fraction into a decimal? Valerie? Good. 1 divided by 3. 1 is not, or 3 is not going to 1, so add decimal point 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. We get 9. 1, add a 0. 3 goes into 10 3 times. This is what I need for you to show me to prove that your answer. On your test, how I do your work shown, if you don't give me this part right here, you're not going to get your work shown points. So this is negative 1.33. A lot of you got to this, but I'm still getting it incorrect. Which number is larger? Negative 1 and 33/100 or negative 1 and 6/10? Javen. Okay, negative 1 and 33/100 is larger. For a reason. Here is negative 1 and 33/100 is between what two whole numbers? Sean. Awesome, negative 1 and negative 2. That is about right here, negative 1.33. Negative 1 and 6/10 is between what two whole numbers? Okay? Negative 1 and negative 2. Okay, which is about right here. Negative 1 and 33/100 is farther right on the number line, meaning it is the larger number. Okay, let's talk about C. We're up here. What would we rather do? Change into fractions or decimal form? True? Decimal form. So how do we change this into decimal form? Beckham. Awesome. We're going to take 2 divided by 3. Decimal point 0. 3 goes into 20. How many times? 6 times. That's 18. We subtract, we get 2. Bring another 0 down. We get 6. Goes on forever and ever. So now we have negative 0.75 compared to negative 0.6. Okay, use the number line to help you. What two whole numbers are these both in between? Nathan. 0 and 1. Negative 7,500 is 6 negative 66, and it's going to be to the right of that. So which number is larger? Sean. Or negative 2. Sean.
I thought it was negative fractions, but you're using your quarters again. It's really easy. It's 3/4, and 3/4. You can make that times 3 and that times 3 3/4 times 3 and 2/3 times 4. And then you
The denominator 12.
yeah, and then
Good. Awesome. I don't care which one you use. Okay, I really do not care. I recommend one, but I don't care which one you use. Whatever is easier for you. So on your homework tonight, you're going to have these problems. I do need to see you compare by changing them. If you just have a greater than sign and a less than sign on your homework, I'm not going to be fair. I will be checking your homework tomorrow. I don't always check your homework. I trust that you are doing it. So when it is for putting your homework or papers away, it means you're not paying attention. Please show your homework. or she'll work on your homework. Can we look at F? Can you guarantee which one it is right away? I need to see work for F. I don't need to work for F because you have a positive and a negative number. To me, you should know that. Okay. On D, these two are both positive. Okay. Both positive, so even if you do know the answers, I do need to see your work. Right? If they're not on your homework, you're not as Nathan. On D, what would you do? Anyone, before we go, what would you do to D to solve for it? E? Then what would you do to E to solve for it? Oh, are you saying is what work would you need? I guess here they have common denominators, so you wouldn't need to, would you? We don't need, oh, the work is shown. Which one's larger? Which one is farther right on the number line? Negative 2/3 is right here. Negative 4/3 is between what two whole numbers? Do not leave. Have a seat. Negative 4/3 is between what two whole numbers? Ian. Good. -1 and -2. Which one is farther or which one is greater? Becca? All right. Have a wonderful rest.